Welcome back to Commons. If you've ever built an integration that pulls every single record from Dataverse on a schedule just to find the three that changed, this video is going to save you a lot of pain and a lot of API calls. Today we are building a real incremental sync pipeline using Dataverse Change Tracking API, an Azure function written in C#, and a downstream push to another system. We'll cover the concepts first, then go screen by screen through the actual Azure portal, the code, and a Power Automate flow. By the end, you'll have a reusable pattern you can drop into any project. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the problem first. Dataverse is Microsoft's cloud database that sits behind Power Apps and Dynamics 365. Think of it like a giant, well-organized filing cabinet holding all your accounts, contacts, and custom records. The naive way to keep an external system in sync is to query that entire filing cabinet every few minutes and compare everything. That works fine with 100 records. It falls apart with 1,000,000. Full scans are slow, they burn through your API request limits, and they get worse every single day as your data grows. What you actually want is much simpler. Just tell me what changed since the last time I checked. So here are the three concepts that make incremental sync possible. First, a sync token, sometimes called a delta token. Think of it as a bookmark in a book, marking exactly where you stopped reading last time. Second, a delta query, which is just asking Dataverse, given this bookmark, what's changed since then? Third, entity versioning. Every record in Dataverse carries an internal version number that increases whenever it's updated, which is how Dataverse knows what counts as new. One important setup step, change tracking has to be explicitly turned on for each table before you can query deltas against it. Here's the full picture of what we're building. A timer trigger inside an Azure function wakes up on a schedule. It calls the Dataverse Web API using the sync token from last run. Dataverse hands back only the changed and deleted records, plus a brand new token. Our function processes those records and pushes the updates to a downstream system, like SAP or a data warehouse. Finally, and this is critical, we save that new token to durable storage so next time we pick up exactly where we left off. Notice storage sits outside the function itself. That's on purpose. We'll come back to why. Let's build this for real, starting in the Azure portal. I'm creating a new function app, which is Microsoft's serverless compute service, meaning you write code and Azure runs it on demand without you managing a server. I'll name it Commons SyncFunc. Put it in a resource group called RG-Dataverse Sync so everything related lives together, and choose .NET 8 isolated as the runtime, which is the current recommended way to write Azure functions in C#. Region matters too. Pick one close to your Dataverse environment to keep latency low. Once these basics are filled in, I click Create and Azure provisions the whole thing for us in about a minute. Now that the app exists, I go into the functions blade and add a new function using the timer trigger template. A timer trigger simply means Azure will invoke our code automatically on a schedule, kind of like setting an alarm clock. I'm naming this one Sync Dataverse Changes and setting the schedule using a cron expression, that string of numbers and asterisks that means, in plain English, run every 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a reasonable starting point. You can tighten it if your business needs near real-time sync, or loosen it to reduce API calls even further. This schedule is the heartbeat of our entire pipeline. Before we write a line of sync logic, we need to configure application settings, which is where Azure stores environment variables our code reads at runtime. Think of it as a settings file that lives outside your code so you never hard code secrets. I'm adding Dataverse URL pointing to our environment, a client ID and client secret for authenticating as an application user, and a storage connection string for the table we'll use to save our sync token. Notice the client secret value actually references Azure Key Vault instead of showing the raw secret. That's a security best practice, keeping credentials out of plain configuration entirely. Now the actual code. This is the heart of the pipeline, a retrieve entity changes request. We tell it which table we care about, account in this case, which columns we want back, like name, revenue, and status code. The important line is data version, which is where we pass in the sync token we saved from the previous run. The very first time this runs, that value is empty, so Dataverse returns everything as a full baseline. Every run after that, Dataverse only returns rows whose version number is newer than our token. We are also paging results at 500 records per page in case a lot changed since last time. Here's what actually comes back from Dataverse when we make that call. Look at the value array. The first record, Fabricam Inc., is a normal changed record with its updated fields. The second record has no name and instead carries this special attribute called deleted metadata with a reason of deleted. That's how Dataverse tells us a record was removed without us having to guess from a missing row. At the very bottom, notice the Delta token field. That's a new bookmark. Whatever value shows up here is what we save and use as the starting point for the next run. Now we have to save that new token somewhere durable, meaning it survives even if a function crashes or restarts, which is why we don't just keep it in memory. I'm using Azure Table Storage here, a lightweight, cheap key value store that's perfect for this. We upsert, meaning insert or update, a row with a partition key of the table name and a row key of sync state, storing the Delta token value from our response. This one small step is what makes the whole pipeline reliable. If this write fails, we should not consider the sync successful, because next time we'd accidentally reprocess the same batch or skip changes entirely. With changes retrieved, we need to push them somewhere. I'm using a Power Automate flow here as a downstream delivery mechanism. Power Automate is Microsoft's no-code automation tool, and a connector is just a pre-built bridge to another system, like SAP or a database. This flow starts with an HTTP trigger, meaning our Azure function calls it directly with a web request carrying a batch of changed records. From there the flow passes the incoming JSON payload so it can work with individual fields instead of raw text. Next comes the parse step and the branching logic. After parse JSON breaks the payload into usable fields, we hit a condition action that checks whether that deleted metadata field we saw earlier is present on each record. This is exactly why the change tracking API is so useful. It hands us that distinction directly, instead of forcing us to compare old and new snapshots ourselves to figure out what disappeared. Depending on the answer, the flow takes one of two paths, which we'll see next. Finally, based on that condition, changed records flow into an update record action against SAP using its native connector, while deleted records flow into a separate archive record action instead of being deleted outright downstream, a safer pattern in most businesses. This separation matters a lot. Treating deletions the same as updates is one of the most common bugs in sync pipelines, and it usually shows up months later as orphaned or duplicated data in the target system. Before we wrap up, a few production habits that will save you a bad night on call. Always wrap your web API calls in try-catch with exponential backoff, meaning if a call fails you wait a little longer each retry instead of hammering the service. If any part of a batch fails to push downstream, do not advance and save the sync token. Let that run fail and retry the same window next time, so nothing gets silently lost. Log every failure to Application Insights, Azure's built-in monitoring tool, so you can actually see problems instead of discovering them from an angry client. And if a token ever expires or becomes invalid, be ready to fall back to a full resync as a safety net. And that's a complete, production-ready incremental sync pipeline. You now understand sync tokens as bookmarks, delta queries that fetch only what changed, entity versioning underneath it all, and how to wire that into a timer-triggered SEO function with durable token storage and a downstream flow that respects deletions and retries safely. This pattern scales from a few thousand records to millions without ever needing a full table scan again. If this helped you, subscribe to Chromons for more deep, practical Power Platform and Dataverse tutorials, and drop a comment if you want a follow-up video on scaling this across multiple tables at once.